The Toronto Raptors finally know where they're going to be selecting in the middle portion of the upcoming NBA draft, and unfortunately, it is bad news. We're going to break down what this means for the team in today's video. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. This is Amateur Hour Sports 2, the second channel in the Amateur Hour Production Network, where we give you additional Toronto Raptors content in videos just like this. If you enjoy what you see, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well, because we're on the road to 2,000 subs, and I'm working very hard to try and get at least 2 videos a week out on this channel, alongside the 3 videos a week that you can get on my main channel, Amateur Hour Sports, with more Raptors content and over 17,000 subscribers over there. But the NBA has settled its tiebreakers for the upcoming NBA draft for the teams that are not in those lottery positions where, I guess lottery seeding is on the line here as well. But the NBA has broken the ties of a number of teams heading into the draft, and we now have some confirmation on where some teams will be selecting, and that includes where the Raptors will be selecting with that Indiana Pacers pick. That Indiana Pacers pick was sent over to the Raptors in that trade that involved Pascal Siakam. It also included the very late first-round pick that was traded away to the Utah Jazz, and a trade that brought Kelly Olynyk to the team, and a trade that also brought Ochai Agbaji to the team. And, well, it's kind of a good news that we got out of this, I guess it's not all bad, is that the pick that was sent to the Utah Jazz did end up as the 29th overall pick in the NBA draft. So a 29th overall pick sent over essentially to get Ochai Agbaji and Kelly Olynyk, who has extended his stay with the Raptors for 2 years. That seems like some pretty good business. But as far as the Indiana Pacers pick, which could have ended up in the 16 to 19 range of the NBA draft, as I said in the intro, it is some unfortunate news for the team. That pick has ended up in the worst possible position because that pick has become the 19th overall pick in the NBA draft. Again, that could have become the 16th overall pick, the 17th overall pick, or the 18th overall pick. But unfortunately, as I said, that will become the 19th overall pick. So, it's kind of hard luck here. Nothing you can do here. Nothing you can do to sway your odds in any different way. It's completely randomized by the NBA, but it's a bit of a shame. Pick could have been higher. Who knows? Maybe a guy goes at 16 or 17. The Raptors were eyeing up. They have to pivot and go to a different player. It is what it is. It's unlucky, and it's kind of unfortunate that the already pretty underwhelming return that the Raptors got for Pascal Siakam has become a little bit more underwhelming. At least on the bright side, that pick you sent over to the Jazz, again, with a 29th overall pick, you get to one promising player in Agbaji who we're hoping for the best with, and one really nice player to have on your roster in Kelly Olynyk. But yeah, again, it is unfortunate, a little bit underwhelming. But I'm kind of hoping in this situation that now when it comes to life in general, I don't get superstitious. But I only really get superstitious when it comes down to the biggest moments in sports. And for basketball, the biggest moments, well, they're the NBA playoffs. But other than that, they're the NBA draft. Those moments at the NBA draft, those players you select, completely shape your team for the future. They can be the reason you win an NBA championship. It could be the reason you don't win an NBA championship at some point or another. And for the Raptors here, I'm kind of hoping that, hey, maybe saving up our karma here for the draft lottery, where a lot is on the line for this team. We got some bad luck. Hey, maybe we get some good luck in that NBA draft lottery, because we're absolutely going to need it. We've been talking a lot about the Raptors. If they stay as a bottom 6 team, they will have a 45% chance of keeping their pick for the upcoming NBA draft. 45%, a decent chunk. But that leaves 55% chance that you do not keep your pick. So it is more likely than not that the Raptors will not be selecting the top 6 of the upcoming NBA draft, and they will be conveying that pick, sending it over to the San Antonio Spurs. But it is an interesting little distribution of probabilities here for the Raptors, because as much as it's a 45% chance at a top 6 pick, the least likely position the Raptors are drafting in, if they are in the top 6, is 6th overall. They've got a 9% chance at the top pick, 9.2% chance at the second, 9.4 at third, 9.6 at fourth, 8.6 at 6. But then there's the big chunks here. There is a 29.8% chance they will be selecting, they will have the 7th pick, therefore it will convey, 20.5% at 8th overall, and so on and so forth in lower percentages for the possibility of ending as the 9th or the 10th spot in the draft, which of course would also send that pick to the Spurs. That's why it's highlighted in red over here. Oh, look at that tankathon with a nice Spurs logo on top of that as well to make it just a little bit more clear if it was not clear already. The reason it's more likely to fall one spot than it is to climb is because with the distribution here, every team in the lottery at least has some potential of ending up in the top 4 of the draft. Like the Raptors cannot end with the 5th overall pick. So, naturally, even though it's a bunch of small percentages, it is the assumption that 1 or 2 teams are going to jump into the lottery and bounce a team out of, jump into the top 4 and bounce a team out. And the likeliest scenario is that, well, it could be the Raptors bouncing out 1 or 2 spots here, and then the Spurs bouncing out as well, or even the Portland Trailblazers bouncing out of those solid positions at the top of the draft. That's just a distribution. That's to decentivize tanking. It does make sense. The Raptors tanked. It probably led to them tanking a little bit later than maybe they could have because of the just knowing the possibilities, the variance involved here of where that pick could end up. But overall, in this situation, look, for that middle of the first round pick, it probably won't change their draft plans a whole lot. It kind of is what it is. You're the 19th overall pick. They're going to have a huge crop of players in that region that they're going to be considering anyways. Could make you miss out on a guy that turns out to be great. You had a better pick. It is what it is. But, that's just sports. That's just what it comes down to. But when it comes down to this top 6 pick, kind of looking through the top of the draft, we know this is not one of the stronger draft classes the NBA has ever seen, and there's seemingly upcoming a pretty strong draft class in 2025, but the situation kind of remains the same for next season. There's no guarantee on what level of play the Raptors will have next season, and I'm certainly not going to turn down a top 6 pick if the Raptors are drafting this year. If the Raptors are drafting this year, it's a top 6 pick. Who knows what that pick could become next season? And even if, you're concerned about the guys who could be in the top 6 of the next draft, well, the pick is still going to be top 6 protected next year. So if the Raptors are still very, very bad, which, I don't think they will be this bad again, though I didn't think they'd be this bad this season. Even if they are this bad again, well, they still have a top 6 protected pick, and then they'll have a top 6 protected pick in 2026. We'll just continue to go like that until I believe it becomes 2 second-round picks sent over to the Spurs after that. I suppose that would be the best case scenario as far as the draft assets are concerned. Not necessarily for the Raptors doing well, because that'd be 3 pretty terrible seasons of Toronto Raptors basketball with a pretty promising team to build with in the 2024 offseason. So I'm okay. Just, I want the pick to convey. Argument could be made that a 6th overall pick this year is as valuable as a late lottery pick next season. You could certainly try and make the case for that as well, but it's out of our hands here. It was out of our hands when we ended up with the 19th overall pick instead of the 16th overall pick. It's out of our hands here. If the Raptors are at this point drafting in the top 6, great. Let's try and find a really good player to help our team. If not, we have all of our draft assets back. We can trade any draft assets for the future, and we know exactly where we stand going forward, and we can properly reset with everything in place for the upcoming season. So, unlucky stuff here, but we'll see if that luck changes, and if we do get one of those high picks in the 2024 NBA draft with the pick that hopefully does not convey to the San Antonio Spurs. That'll do it for today's episode. If you want to check out some more content by myself, check out my main channel with over 17,000 subs for more Raptors content. Check out my stream reactions channel, or my stream highlights channel from the streams from this channel over here. Subscribe to the channel you're watching on right now, Amateur Hour Sports 2, and here's another video you might want to check out as well that is on my main channel. I'll see you again next time for another video here on Amateur Hour Sports 2.